Let's talk about security a little bit. Now, before we go into the security, I'd like to bring this report to you as we've been. Now, the Inspector General of Police has ordered the restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads, waterways, and other means of transportation from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day in all states where elections will be conducted. And this is with the exception of those on essential services such as INEC officials, electoral observers, accredited media, and ambulances responding to medical emergencies, firefighters, and so on. And the directive excludes the Federal Capital Territory, as no election is being conducted therein at the FCT. The IGP reiterates the ban on all security aids to VIPs and escorts from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation centers during the election. Let's listen.
The Inspector General of Police, Federal Republic of Nigeria, IGP Usman, Alkali Baba, has ordered the restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads, on waterways, and other forms of transportation from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day, that is 18th of March 2023, in all states. Similarly, the Inspector General of Police reiterates the ban on all security aids to VIPs and escorts from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation centers during the election. State established and home security outfits and organizations, quasi-security units, and privately held guard and security outfits are also barred from participating in election security management.
All right. That was the message from the Inspector General of Police. We will talk about that. But let's cross over to Minna in Niger State. We understand that INEC has begun distribution of materials to the various polling units there as well. And we hope that, especially within the metropolis and all of that, materials will get there on time. You're seeing visuals from Minna in Niger State. So let's cross over to our correspondent Chenemi Bamaiyi, who is standing by to give us details in there. Chenemi, it's good to have you join us this morning. We just listened to reports from Maiduguri, where election materials have arrived. You in Minna, distribution is still ongoing. Give us the reports there.
Okay, so I'm reaching you right now from Kotongora in Niger North Senatorial District, not in Minna right now, one of the local government areas. But reports from Minna reached us also that distribution of materials has begun. The visuals that you see on your screen right now is from Kotongora, and then we'll visit various registration area centers where they've begun moving materials, both the sensitive and non-sensitive materials, to the various polling units. As you can see right behind me, you could see security operatives right behind me, trying to ensure that things go on perfectly well. And you'd also notice that there are movement of people on motorbikes and in cars taking their presiding officers taking their materials from the registration area centers to their polling units. Like they said this morning that all is set, and then they will ensure that they have a smooth election. Election is supposed to commence by 8:30 a.m. It is expected that these materials will get to their polling units right on time.
All right, it's good to know you're reaching us from Kontagora in Niger State. Now, talk to us. Niger State has seen some level of insecurity in the past, although in the last few months things had improved. But talk to us, are there areas in Niger State where there are uncertainties regarding how elections are going to hold?
Okay, thank you. Before now, INEC had earlier stated that there will be no elections in 10 polling units across 5 local government areas in Niger State due to security concerns. Local governments like Munya, Shiroro, Rafi, Magama, and Wushishi. There are 10 polling unit areas that 10 polling units that elections will not be holding. Last night, there was heavy bombardment in some villages around Munya, where about 30 bandits were killed. And definitely, there will be no elections in those areas. In Shiroro local government, there are 11 wards. And out of those 11 wards, 5 are under serious bandits attack. Also in Munya has 10 wards, and 4 of those wards are under bandit attack. So it is difficult to say elections will happen there this morning. But in other areas like Kotongora, Magama, security situations have improved, and then we should see people voting today.
All right. What are you seeing in your engagement with people from where you have been so far and monitoring? Are you seeing anxiety or you're seeing enthusiasm on the part of the voters this morning?
Yeah. A lot of people, when we came into town yesterday and then we spoke to people on the streets, they expressed enthusiasm, they expect readiness to vote, even though some of the respondents said more than ever they experienced a very low turnout of people, especially in the presidential elections. But we expect to see a change this time because it is the governorship and the House of Assembly. They are closer to the people, and then the people are very desperate is the wrong word, but for lack of a better word, they are anxious to vote in the candidates that they think will represent them well. So if they didn't come out during the presidential, they really want to show some difference in the governorship elections.
What are you expecting when it comes to the turnout of people today? From your engagement, what are you expecting to see? Are we expecting a larger turnout than the previous election, or is still going to be the same thing?
Yeah, like I said, we're expecting a larger turnout because, like I said, this is for the House of Assembly, and then because these are people that are closer to the people, there's a lot of mobilization that has happened, and a lot of conviction has been pushed towards the direction so that they can come out and vote. From what I can see this morning, the people are open, they're excited, they really want to vote this morning. Movement is still going on around town just to help people access their various polling units before their completely ground movement. But people are happy. They really want to vote today.
All right. Before you go, confirm to me again, you said there were some local governments that INEC said election will not hold. Can you give us that number again for emphasis?
Okay. 10 polling units across 5 local governments, not in the entire local government, but polling units spread across this local government in 5 local government areas. 10 polling units in Shiroro, in Magama, in Munya, in Rafi, and in Wushishi. These areas over time have been under serious bandit attack, and then security situations are improving, but you can't really take the chances. Like I said, yesterday there was some engagement with the military, and there was heavy bombardment on some of those areas, and we might not see elections happening in some polling units in those areas today.
Okay. Chenemi Bamaiyi, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed from Kontagora in in Niger State. Thank you very much. Thank you.